In a quaint village nestled beside a serene, winding river, Ella, a shy and imaginative girl, often spent her days wandering alone. While her peers played confidently in groups, Ella preferred the quiet solace of the riverbank, where her mind could wander freely. She was often teased for being different, too quiet, too lost in her own world. Yet Ella found a strange comfort in the solitude, even though she secretly longed for connection and confidence. One misty afternoon, while the village bustled behind her, Ella wandered further than she ever had before. The river seemed to whisper, her name as if it were guiding her. She followed its murmur until she reached a part of the riverbank she had never seen, dense with reeds and shaded by ancient willow trees. As the light faded into the soft hues of twilight, something unusual caught her eye. There, half buried in the damp soil, was a pebble that shimmered faintly with an unearthly glow. It wasn't like any stone Ella had seen before. Its surface sparkled like 1,000 tiny stars trapped within. Hesitantly, she picked it up, feeling its warmth radiate against her palm. For a moment, she wondered if she was imagining the glow, but then the pebble seemed to pulse with light as though alive. A chill ran down her spine. Why was it here? And why did it feel like it had been waiting for her? Curiosity overcame her fear. She whispered to the pebble, half jokingly, "I wish I weren't so shy." To her astonishment, the pebble grew brighter, its warmth intensifying. That evening, Ella felt an unusual sense of ease. The next day at school, she found herself speaking, up in class, a rarity for her. Her teacher praised her for her answer, and her classmates smiled at her in a way they never had before. It was as if the pebble had granted her wish. In the days that followed, Ella tested the pebble further. She wished for a beautiful new dress, and the very next morning, her mother surprised her with one, saying it had been a gift from an old friend. When Ella wished for a perfect score on her test, she aced it effortlessly despite barely studying. Each wish filled her with a thrill, as if she had discovered a secret key to happiness. But not everything was as perfect as it seemed. One evening, Ella wished for more friends. The next day, a group of girls from her class invited her to join them at lunch. While they were kind and cheerful, Ella couldn't shake the feeling that their laughter and smiles seemed hollow. Their friendship felt too easy, too superficial. She began to wonder, was the pebble truly granting her wishes, or was it twisting reality to fit them? The suspense deepened when Ella tried to wish for something bigger, a bright shooting star she could see with her own eyes. She held the pebble tightly and made her wish. The night sky remained still and quiet. Disappointed, she almost tossed the pebble away, but then it pulsed in her hand, almost like a heartbeat, as if warning her. A quiet voice seemed to echo in her mind. "Be careful what you wish for." The next day, her teacher announced auditions for the school play. Ella loved the idea of performing, but froze at the thought of standing in front of an audience. Her mind raced with doubt. That night, gripping the pebble tightly, she wished for the courage to perform and dazzle the audience. But instead of granting her wish, the pebble's glow dimmed. For the first time, it seemed to resist her. Confused, Ella stared at it. "Why won't you help me?" she whispered. A quiet voice echoed back, not from the pebble, but from her heart. "You don't need me for this. You can do it yourself." The realization struck her like a bolt of lightning. The pebble had been nudging her toward this all along. With trembling hands, Ella placed the pebble on her bedside table. The next day, she stepped into the audition room without its aid. Her heart pounded, her hands shook, but she stood tall. As she began her lines, something magical happened. Not from a wish, but from within. The words flowed naturally, and the room seemed to light up with her presence. She felt alive, more confident than ever before. When the cast list was posted, Ella's name shone at the top. On opening night, as she stepped onto the stage, she didn't think about the pebble. The applause from the audience filled her with a joy that no wish could ever replicate. After the play, Ella returned to the riverbank where she had first found the pebble. Holding it one last time, she whispered, "Thank you." The pebble glowed, faintly before fading into an ordinary stone. Ella smiled, realizing it had been a guide, not the source of her strength, but a catalyst for her growth. From that day on, Ella carried the lesson in her heart. The real magic wasn't in the pebble. It was in her own courage waiting to shine.